Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever walked out of an IELTS speaking test wondering why your score didn't quite match your vocabulary knowledge, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to unlock the hidden mechanics of the exam to help you jump from a band 6 to a band 7 or even higher. We're going to break down the actual structural patterns of the test so you can understand exactly what the examiner is looking for. It's all about shifting your focus from what to say to how to say it. So many students feel completely stuck memorizing endless lists of vocabulary. But honestly, the real secret to IELTS success lies in recognizing question patterns. Sourced from the fantastic material by Amin the English Mechanic, this approach fundamentally changes how you respond. Seriously, when you stop agonizing over finding that one perfect, complex word and start listening to the framework of the question itself, your fluency naturally skyrockets. Our core framework for today really boils down to this one idea. Recognize the question type, and the answer starter follows naturally. Think of the examiner's question as a lock, and the first few words of your answer as the key. If you can just spot the keywords the examiner uses, generating a natural, high-scoring answer starter becomes completely automatic. You don't even have to overthink it. You just react to the pattern. Today, we're going to systematically apply this secret framework to 4 specific question types to prove exactly how this transformation works. We'll be looking at frequency questions, duration questions, yes and no questions, and finally, opinion questions. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into our first category, Type 1, frequency questions. These are incredibly common, especially in Part 1 of the speaking exam. Imagine the examiner asks you a direct question about your daily habits. Something like, how often do you use your phone? It sounds ridiculously simple, right? But that simplicity is exactly what traps most candidates into giving a flat, uninspired answer. Just look at the stark contrast between these two approaches. A typical Band 6 answer is just, every day. It's basic, it's abrupt, and it gives the examiner absolutely nowhere to go. Now compare that to a Band 7 answer. On a fairly regular basis, it sounds so much more nuanced and beautifully natural. Using that adverb-adjective combination, fairly regular, instantly signals to the examiner that you've got a comfortable, flexible command of English phrasing. The whole strategy here relies on tuning your ear to specific keywords like how often or do you often. When your brain hears those triggers, please don't just blurt out a single time frame. Because these questions are actually digging into your routines and habits, your answer starter needs to reflect that, setting you up to expand effortlessly. Moving right along, let's see how this structural pattern applies to Type 2, duration questions. How long have you been learning English? This is a total classic prompt. It's almost guaranteed to pop up in some form. But, it traps so many candidates into giving a vague response because they suddenly panic, trying to do mental math and calculate exact dates in their head while speaking. You can truly feel the difference in quality here. The Band 6 response, since I was young, is super imprecise and grammatically simplistic. But the Band 7 speaker anchors their answer with a specific starting point. I've been studying it since I was about 12. Not only do they use the present perfect continuous tense flawlessly with I've been studying, but they also throw in the word about, which makes it sound authentic and conversational rather than robotic. So when your brain registers the keywords how long, your golden rule should be to immediately provide a concrete starting point. Don't just say for a long time. Say for roughly 3 years or since I graduated. Grounding your answer in a specific time period instantly boosts your coherence and shows off your grammatical range. All right, let's move to our third category, which seems incredibly simple on the surface, but is actually a massive missed opportunity for many test takers. Type 3, yes/no questions. The prompt is super straightforward. Do you enjoy reading? But here's the thing. The examiner isn't just looking for a factual yes or no. They are setting a stage for you. How you handle the immediate follow-up to your yes or no is exactly what determines your score. A Band 6 answer usually hits a dead end right away with, yes, I like it. The conversation just dies there. Whereas the Band 7 answer breathes actual life into the response. First, they enhance the affirmation with, yes, absolutely. Then they swap out the basic word like for fond of. Finally, and this is the real kicker, they naturally add a specific detail, especially history books. Boom, now the examiner has a topic to smoothly transition into. The underlying rule here is simple. When you hear do you or does, your job is to answer the binary question first, give them the yes or no, but then immediately attach that little bit of extra context. Let the keyword be your reminder to never just stop at a period. Use words like especially, particularly, or specifically to drag that sentence out into higher band territory. Finally, we arrive at the fourth and arguably most important category for achieving those higher bands, particularly in Part 3 of the exam, Type 4, opinion questions. Do you think social media is good for society? This kind of prompt is directly testing your ability to weigh a concept, handle abstract ideas, and express a complex viewpoint clearly. You simply cannot get away with a surface-level answer here. Notice how the Band 6 candidate leans on a single flat adjective. I think it's bad. It shows absolutely no depth of thought and zero vocabulary range. Meanwhile, the Band 7 candidate uses a great idiomatic phrase to show a much more sophisticated evaluation. The way I see it, it does more harm than good. This phrase acknowledges that there might be good and bad elements, but ultimately weighs them against each other. It's an incredibly powerful answer starter. By training yourself to catch the cues do you think or should, you can actively avoid falling into that one adjective trap. You have to present a fully formed perspective. So when you hear do you think, your brain should automatically cue up phrases like the way I see it, to my mind, or I firmly believe that. These structures literally force you to speak in full, complex sentences rather than tossing out single-word descriptions. So here is the ultimate challenge for you. During your next practice run, will you finally stop agonizing over forcing big vocabulary words into your sentences and instead listen for the structural patterns? Will you let the cue words unlock your natural fluency and secure that higher band? It really is a game changer.